the whole summer really has been based on this. Well, this is different. This is new. What does this look like? Because from root and branch, top to bottom, this football club's had a complete revamp. Yeah. So that's why everything needs to be taken with that little caveat of what if.
How much do we believe this man?
Well, read it out.
Yeah, I'll get you it now.
So, I have to translate that.
Liverpool and Real Sociedad are still working on reaching an agreement for Zubimendi. The possibility of the English club including footballers in the deal is being put on the table. As we reported from the other day, the player has given the thumbs up to the English team. I can send you that now.
Jorge C. Picon.
I can't. Yeah, I didn't know how you said his name.
Jorge with a, I don't know.
I'll send you it now.
Not
that. Okay.
I'll put it in the chat.
We'll await.
Yeah, send it.
There you go.
And there we go.
He reported the other day with...
How did you spell it?
You do not want to know.
No.
Okay, so
how I said it, to be fair.
I've got it on the screen right now. He's got a blue tick, so at least he's paying for Twitter. He's got some dough, which is enough, isn't it? And obviously we'll translate the post because I haven't.
Go on, read that.
I forgot how to read! So yeah, working on an agreement for Zubimendi. English footballers in the deal has been put on the table. Joey Gomez, as reported the other day on Relievo. My word. Well, who would those players be, Dan? Oh, Chloe, we've been talking a lot, me and you, Dan. Who would those players be?
I mean... Sepp Vandenberg, do you fancy it?
Probably a good shout, isn't it?
Do you fancy it?
Ritaruendo.
Ritaruendo's a shout.
Yeah.
I can't imagine fit in with Sociedad style of play.
Maybe
not. Get rid of Zubimendi and Moreno and then just get in Endo with his cape. I'll sort it, lads, don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, he would still put out the fires. He just might not have the same build-up as them. I'm trying to think of players that I wouldn't mind getting rid of, but even then, like, Acosta Simicas, I feel like that's more work if you get rid of him to have to do. Go on,
Tyler Morton.
Tyler Morton, yeah, really good.
Tyler Morton.
Yeah,
he definitely suits their style. 100%. And we know he is very much on the periphery fringe, on the way out potentially of Liverpool. We know there's interest from Leipzig and Atalanta, so in terms of like calibre of clubs that he feels destined for, I don't think that's out of the realms of possibility either. So, and again, like for like a little bit in terms of the position, in terms of the style, so possibly, and we're taking this report at face value, of course, but if there was to be players involved, I think Tyler Morton would be a good fit.
Okay, Mark Simon says Bajcetic to Real Sociedad.
On loan, maybe, but that's about it.
That's an interesting one, because if my first thought was on loan, I mean, let's just rule out sale right now.
Yeah, no.
But I think Liverpool want to see him, to be honest. And I don't think I'd sanction a loan for Bajcetic, Clown.
No, I mean, I just said that because you didn't put a sale or loan thing on there, and I most definitely wouldn't be getting rid of him. I'd like to see more of him, and I think Arne Slot would as well, because even though we've signed Zubimendi, Stefan Bajcetic is the next one. He's still young, he still needs to develop, and I actually think he's good enough to be a part of this squad. I want to see more of him, and we saw that when he actually was on DM for that little season, and he had absolutely no support from anyone else in that midfield. He was one of our best players, and he was put under a lot of stress, and he managed to come up with the goods. So I think Stefan Bajcetic, from the style of way he plays, he's one of them who's picks up the ball in between the two strikers who are pressing on, and he's absolutely fine. He's so calm on the ball, at times too calm, and sometimes gets lost with it, but he fits the style that Arne Slot plays, so I would never be getting rid of him.
Dan, for you, mate, obviously we've spoken about centre-backs there, we've spoken about Endo. For me, it seems like midfield is the place we're really stocked, and almost midfielder would have to go out for somebody to come in. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I'd definitely say it was bloated. Certainly when you factor in the likes of Tyler Morton, Bobby Clark is still in this conversation for now as well. So yeah, I think we've gone from sort of searching around desperately for midfielder last summer to being like, my God, we've got millions of these, like trying to get them out the door a little bit and trimming the fat off the edges of the squad, whether that be with loans or obviously permanent exits as well. So yeah, I do think one will have to make way, potentially.
One that likes mountains.
Yeah, ideally. Yeah.
It's not going to be like Gravenberg then, is it? Because he's from Holland. And they're flat as hell over there.
Flat, yeah, very flat. But just on the Bajcetic thing, actually, I wouldn't sell him by any stretch of imagination, but the loan thing's interesting. And whilst I tend to agree with what you guys are both saying about Liverpool wanting to keep hold of him, make sure his development continues on the right path, and he's well looked after, obviously, just a few weeks removed from being a year out of football, more or less. It is interesting how it would be a really sort of it'd be a good place for him to continue his development. We've seen what they've done with Martin Zubimendi, quite literally. If you wanted to sort of recreate that path, it actually does make a little bit of sense, as long as there was assurances about his development and the amount of minutes he's played and his rehabilitation and making sure he's well looked after. It's not the craziest idea in the world to suggest he would go the other way for a little bit of time.
Get his first team football. They've got no midfielders right now.
If he wasn't going to get enough football at Liverpool, and we were desperate to make sure he got to a certain point, because he has missed a year of football. Let's have it right, you know what I mean? So it's not a crazy idea to suggest that. But having said all of that, I wouldn't be doing it. I'd be looking to get rid of the likes of Tyler Morton.
It makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Obviously, if they're looking at Stefan Bajcetic or whatever, then he's literally playing the role that he'll be playing at Liverpool Football Club. He's playing a side that tries to dominate possession. He's playing in a good league for a start, for a good side in a good league as well. So
and he's not the finished article. So getting a good amount of football, because we've just said there, Liverpool having their hands on him and being able to sort of look after him and continue and nurture his development, that's massively important. But we're signing the finished article. We're signing what we want Stefan Bajcetic to go on and become, maybe even a better, who knows. But there is that well-trodden path element of this, whereby you go, okay, we know you're capable of looking after a lad of this ilk and this quality, so yeah, why not?
And it gives them a little bit of time to find a potential long-term successor to Zubimendi or whatever, or maybe someone from their youth team to finally grow up a little bit and get into the side and stuff. Wataru Endo is absolutely determined to stay at Liverpool despite transfer interest. I love this. I just love it when players are determined to stay at your football club. I would prefer it if it was like Trent that came out and said it, don't get me wrong, but like for someone fighting for the place, that's boss. And there may be times this season, Chloe, where we do need someone like an Wataru Endo.
Yeah, I think we mentioned this earlier. Our entire midfield is, aside from Wataru Endo, 25 and under, and a lot of them are teenagers / early 20s. And actually 25 years old in Zubimendi and in McAllister, they are the experienced part of that midfield. So keeping Wataru Endo around, not just for those games where we might need a little bit more of a destroyer or where players need rest, but actually for experience might be a massive thing. My only problem is, how many midfielders are we going to have here? Because, there is a lot of other players I'd play above Wataru Endo, and that's not because I don't like him. I have so much respect for the lad. I think he's so humble. I loved how he reacted to criticism at the start of last season and how he improved. And actually, I enjoyed how at the start of the summer he turned around and said, Liverpool bringing in another midfielder, he would welcome, because it would improve the squad. I just love him as a person, but what I would say is that I don't see him, if we do bring Zubimendi in, getting loads of games. I don't think he stylistically fits what Slot wants, and therefore would Slot actually choose him that many times this season, or would he rather choose a Stefan Bajcetic, choose a lot younger but fits his style a little better? So it all depends on the amount of opportunities he's going to get. But in terms of experience, we don't have, a lot of, 31-year-old midfielders, do we? He is the only one above the age of 25, so he might be important for that.